As soon as I finished the film, I took a little time to gather my thoughts and to absorb what I just read about this character called Naina. First of all, the kids know how to make themselves comfortable. They make way somehow. There were 16 of them, cute, adorable kids. We found our way, kids and me, that, there was a time where I needed those 5 minutes breather just to myself, but then I'll open my eye and I'll see the partners troubling them, someone's pulling someone's braid, somebody wants to eat, somebody's tummy is grumbling. Yeah, I think out of all the reactions, which would have been tremendous, this one really stood out with it and stuck by everyone. And then you're married to a creative writer and director.
Hey everyone, welcome to midday.com, and we are super happy to have the gorgeous Yami Gautam joining us today, who's created quite an impact with a Thursday. So Yami, congratulations for the trailer.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Natasha.
And you managed to shock or rather, surprise quite a few people with your performance, because we haven't seen you in that avatar. So please tell us about what was your reaction when you were approached for it.
Trailer is an important step, and people decide just in like one click you want to watch the film or not. So I'm happy to have gathered so many, people's attention for the right reason. This film was offered to me, Natasha, in 2020 when we were in the first lockdown, and it was coming from RSVP, from Ronnie Screwwala's production, and we collaborated before for Uri, which was a very fine collaboration.
True.
So when it came from them, they didn't tell me about the film, the concept, nothing. They said, can you just read it? We have something for you. I said, of course. I love reading. I'll read every script that comes my way, almost. I read it, and I also wanted to just, literally run and fly from one page to the other, that what's going to happen. As soon as I finished the film, I took a moment. I took a little time to gather my thoughts and to absorb what I just read about this character called Naina, and the way her journey progresses, and the way I felt, at least while picturizing the film, how the director has envisioned it. So I called Behzad, who's a writer-director, and I didn't give him my opinion. I first wanted to know what does he feel and what does film mean to him, because I never met him before. If I already meet him, I know the kind of person, he or she is. So I wanted to understand whether whatever I read, does that echo in his personal sentiment also as a writer and, about as a director for the film. And yes, it did. And that is when I told him that, I'm extremely excited for this part. I'm so glad. Thank you for coming to me for this part. And I think it's always exciting to be a part of films where conventionally or technically people might not feel that you are, the part, at least at the appearance of it, for this part. It's called reverse casting. And I think it's always worked for me, be it Bala or Uri and now a Thursday. And that's my job as an actor, to make you feel that's another character coming, every time. So I hope you've done something right with the film.
And playing a teacher, you were shooting with kids, and I'm sure you had to make them kind of comfortable, a lot of intense scenes there. So how did you pull that off?
First of all, the kids know how to make themselves comfortable. They make way somehow. There were 16 of them, cute, adorable kids. And yes, rightly so. It was very important that whatever we are shooting or the film is all about, the intensity and the drama and the heaviness, that should not weigh the kids down. That should not be on the kids. Also understanding that the geography of the film is as such that the kids and myself, we are in a certain space only. But that space was a play school. So that is the first thing which got them really excited. And secondly, Behzad's very good with kids. I think that credit also goes, of course, to the director and the production, with the way they kind of balanced between what we want to achieve and really taking care of them in terms of the fact that they're kids. They need to be fed on time. They need to be rested. There were certain scenes which were shot without me. I mean, if I've done the action, but their reactions were taken separately to keep the sensitivity in mind. And so all these things were taken into account. And then there were times, to work with them, you have to be a kid. You have to come down to their level. You have to be on your knees and not instruct from here, but you have to be there, And they understood. We found our way, kids and me, that, there was a time where I needed those 5 minutes breather just to myself. But then I'll open my eye and I'll see they're already standing there with a list of things they want to say. And the partner's troubling them. Someone's pulling someone's braid. Somebody wants to eat. Somebody's tummy is grumbling. So
Yeah.
all those kiddie things, I felt like, my God, hats off to real life kindergarten teachers.
Yeah. Truly, truly. No, but there is an interesting cast. Of course, besides you, there's Dimple Ma'am, Atul Kulkarni, Neha. It's really an interesting cast. So, what was your rapport really?
Of course, it's a different kind of a film where the space that we share with each other is treated in a little different way.
Yeah.
But whatever interaction I've had with my co-actors, be it Dimple Ma'am, first of all, how gorgeous is she? Secondly, what a terrific actor. I mean, but I think what makes them who they are is the fact they don't take their work for granted. Be it they're doing an entire film, they're doing how much ever work it is, every frame is important.
Yeah.
And how seriously they take their job and how professional they are, which is and really warm to me at the same time. And you don't want to mess up when you're working with somebody so senior, and it's anyway a very important scene. It's a different kind of a film. But Bezal was like, listen, you're just overthinking. She's one of the coolest co-actors you would have ever had in your life. And he was so right. She was so nice and so warm and so real. She didn't have to. There's no pretense about her, and I loved every moment of being around her. Atul sir, again, a very seasoned actor. We've seen him play some really terrific roles in the past, but utna hi, while working, very patient, very calm. He's a team player, always up there to come up with some suggestion or something, even if it's for your own part or anything. He's there. Neha, again, this is the first time I was working, and when we signed the film, and she shot, I think, for a day or two, and she was not pregnant at that time.
Yeah.
And by the time she actually started shooting in 2021, she was pregnant, 8 months pregnant. And Bezad was like, "Wow, if Neha, if you are comfortable shooting, why can't my cop be pregnant? That's fine."
Yeah.
And I'm sure it wouldn't have been easy for her to shoot in rains and 8 months pregnant, but I think she's done a really good job in the film. And all the kids, and also a special mention, Natasha, to the technical crew of the film. The technical aspect of the film is a very, very pivotal part.
True.
And Anush Devan, Sid, they've shot the film. Your editor, your background score. So it's all these other aspects, which really I think count in making every frame or every emotion, stand out.
And I think the most interesting reaction to the trailer came from your husband on Twitter. So is that the kind of relationship you'll share off screen as well, as in fun loving and pulling each other's leg like you do on Twitter?
Yeah, I think out of all the reactions, which would have been tremendous, this one really stood out with it and stuck by everyone. And then you married to a creative writer and director.
True, absolutely, yeah.
That's his way of expressing his compliment, and that's Aditya.
Yeah,
extremely witty, and as my partner, as someone whom I love sharing, discussing, be it anything, his opinion really matters to me. And he really loved the trailer. Like he wouldn't say it like that if he doesn't mean it. It's not that kind of relation where you have to really put it out there, every time. Yes, there's, even if things, I'm just talking about hypothetically, even if something is not that good, or you feel, oh, this is not what I wanted to do, it's something else, your partner should always be there, is always there to support me emotionally and all. But when you put it out there, it's not just because you're somebody's partner, but he's also a professional who's working in the industry, and someone whom I really look up to personally and professionally. So it was a very unique expression of his admiration, and it was funny.
And in the last few years, you have actually, getting all the kind of roles that I guess you wanted, right from Bala to Uri to, of course, the Thursday. So does that feel like a dream come true, really?
Well, that's been a long dream then. It's been a long night.
Yeah.
No, it feels good, Natasha. It feels good. And the best way to put it out and the best expression, what you're trying to do or what you want to achieve, is through your work. Yeah. Nothing else. There could be endless interviews, endless things, endless expectations, 1,000 things, but it all comes down to that Friday. or might I say a Thursday in this matter. So it feels good when people start having faith in you as an actor, when your audience has faith in you, where you create that credible, when you're on a path to create a credible position for yourself in the industry and amongst the audience. I think that takes a lot of work, that takes a lot of patience. That happens with the course of time. And I'm definitely on that path. And I wish to, not just for myself, but whatever I do, the idea is that has to stand out. That film has to work for itself. That film has to be something good, because it's all cinema at the end of the day. It's not just one person's perspective or choice. We need to think bigger. When there are some films which you watch over and over again, or some performances or some actors whose work we could just watch anytime. That requires a great amount of expertise and great amount of hard work and a vision for that to happen. So we need to aim for that vision. Alone an actor or alone one person cannot. It's a collaboration of writers, directors, producers backing, actors, willing to take that plunge and do something. And it's happening now. I see it happening now, and it should not stop. It should not be that, it's an OTT platform, so people are going to watch it. It's not like that. People still have an opinion. People still say, it was good, or it was bad, or it was amazing. You get to know everything. So the aim should be to grow.
And you have a very exciting lineup coming up as well, even after this. Of course, we know about Oh My God 2 as well. So anything that you'd like to say really about your upcoming films as well?
I shall have a Lost coming next, I think. I shall have a Destiny. I'll have an Oh My God sequel. And there's another one which I've shot, which we'll talk more about it once the producers, they start talking about it. But yeah, they're all different in their own ways. They're all different roles, all different canvas that each director had to talk to their audience that they feel. And it's good. It's good when your good work you feel is rolling out, is releasing, is going out there. Last year has been very hectic. Shooting these films, somehow, which is my job, prepping for these films. It's never just about the quantity. It has to be, at the end of the day, what quality you're bringing. What are you bringing to a film? And that requires a lot of homework. And every film, the preparation approach is different. One thing, which is common in all of them, which I do, is to be very thorough with my script. That's important. But I've also been, I think last year has been not just the films, but work with some very interesting directors, some very interesting technicians, and some really senior actors. Like working with Pankaj Kapoorji was like something lost. Likewise, there's so many other actors, and so it's good. I think we'll talk as when the star's coming out, and I think this process should not stop.
And another thing that your fans really love is your style, like how you are. You change from Western to traditional, like perfectly. So is that something you have kind of come into your own over the years and found your style?
I think without batting an eyelid, let me give the credit to my stylist for that. That's Alia. Alia styles me. For the previous film, it was Manisha. But especially Alia has been somebody who's understood me a lot as a personality. And gradually we worked on this. And the whole idea should be that whatever you wear, you need to be comfortable in that. You could wear the most, anything, traditional, Indo-Western, Western. Today we have access to the world. But you have to own it. You have to make it your own, and it has to go with your personality. Sometimes it could be a shocker, but that's okay. You experiment once in a while. But I like it. For me, it really works when, and I love switching. The previous film was more of Indo-Western, and this one is more of Western and sharp. It has to, I feel, echo the mood of what you're trying to say. In your sense of style, for me, that's fashion.
You also broke the myth that actors are perfect all the time. You did speak about, skin condition, and that gave a lot of other girls confidence, that it's okay to deal with whatever you're dealing with. So what was your thought behind that, really?
Natasha, I think there are some things which, again, like my perspective as an actor, it evolves because my perspective as a person is growing. It just doesn't happen again overnight. That awareness comes after a certain time. even though I'd wanted to do it since really long, but
Yeah.
the kind of industry we're working in, you understand,
Yes.
being here, that
Absolutely.
we are not just actors or actresses today. We have brands, we have a social image, we have an identity, and that expectation, what you're talking about, you know.
Yeah.
But if we talk about 2022, if we talk about the new age, then yes, this is a very important aspect. And this is where the social media can play very constructive,
Yeah.
where we can be more kind to each other, and be real, be us, be human, and be really who you are, and let people see that,
Yeah.
and I think let them be able to identify themselves with you as person.
Yeah.
And you never know how it affects somebody in their real life for the good. And I think it did, because this
Yeah.
condition is so common. And when you hear these stories, when girls are saying, even boys, by the way,
Yeah.
especially girls, that, we're so glad you put it out. I still remember this comment, because my partner thinks that I have this condition, and he thinks that why can't you be, just flawless as actresses and models are. So
Absolutely.
thank
Yeah.
you so much for this. What I've shown him, and I feel so relieved.
Yeah.
So just to tell you that the way you feel relief, I also felt relief talking about it.
Yeah.
I've also been through where, I'm asked to conceal it, I'm asked to airbrush it. I have to do it because, as I said, not everything it's not just about you. But that was a shoot where it was all me, and I could voice my mind, my heart.
All right. Lovely talking to you as always. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much for
Natasha.
doing
Thank
this.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.